Yeah, jumpin', them boys up to something. They just spent like 2 or 3 weeks out the country.
Hello and welcome back to the After School Podcast. I am your co-host, Will Reynolds, joined by the other co-host, Carter Cox.
Hello.
And Connor Brown, our special guest.
Hello.
And today we're gonna talk about all things pro sports. Well, mainly just NFL and NBA, but that's basically all things pro sports. And well, this just started off. We're gonna go into NBA, talk about Derrick Rose, career high 50 points.
Yeah, so basically, if you didn't know already, if you're living under a rock, former MVP Derrick Rose had his career high 50 points. He also tallied up, I think, 6 assists and 41 minutes of action. Also had the game-winning block. So, MVP performance, definitely, for the former MVP. And my original thought on this was, if he keeps playing like this, like, of course not 50 points, but like 20, 25 points, maybe back to his MVP self. I don't know, probably not. Does that make Jimmy Butler a whole lot easier to trade for Tom Thibodeau?
Yeah, I think so. Plus, it makes the Timberwolves a bit more dangerous if they have these players doing this kind of performance in these games. I think it proves that the Timberwolves can make their place in the NBA and in the playoffs.
Let's not forget, he did this against the Jazz, one of the best defensive teams in the league.
They have very young talent.
Yes. Finishing in the paint, several times against arguably one of the best defenders in the league in Rudy Gobert. So that was very impressive.
Right. I think it does make Jimmy Butler a whole lot easier to trade because he was one of the team's only like real good players. But now if all these other players are showing their talent, it could really be looking up for the Timberwolves.
Now, Connor, do you think the Timberwolves should try and trade Jimmy Butler now or wait and see if this production keeps up?
I think they should hold on to him a little bit longer.
Yeah, maybe like increase his trade value?
Yeah.
Yeah, it could help, but it's kind of useless just having him sit there on the bench, not wanting to play until he gets traded.
It's pretty useless because Jimmy Butler, everybody knows he doesn't want to be there. So he's basically just hurting the team.
Right, just trade him.
Yeah, Houston offered you 4 first-round picks. And I know Tom Thibodeau, if he doesn't win this season, get to the playoffs, he's going to be fired. But still, if they give you 4 first-round picks, and rumors had it they were going to give Eric Gordon, why did you not accept that?
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Now, if you're Houston, is that too much to give?
Maybe, because Houston really needs some better talent on their team. They picked up Carmelo Anthony, and you see how that turned out for them.
Yeah, speaking of the Rockets, Carmelo Anthony is turning into the veteran that's chasing a ring, but it's just hurting his team.
Right.
Every single year.
It's just not working out too well for him.
Especially since Trevor Ariza and Luke Mbah-a-Moute were the people that let go for him, and those were their 2 best defensive players.
Right.
So now, almost no defense. Chris Paul is a good defender, and Capella is a good defender, and PJ Tucker is a good defender, but that's about it. And you were one of the best offensive teams in the league, and you decided to add more offense.
Yeah,
very questionable.
I think they need to make some moves if they're gonna come back to their former glory.
Yeah, I'm looking, if I'm Houston, trading Eric Gordon for some wing depth.
Yeah,
that's what I would do.
That's a very logical move.
Because he's a very good player and all, but he's very small. They've already got 2 great guards. 2 of the best in the NBA. So get more wing depth. Get some defense, maybe. A couple picks, something like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what they will need to succeed.
And another question I have, do you think Jimmy Butler would fit on the Rockets? I mean, he plays the shooting guard position, which is where James Harden is.
Yeah, I mean, he would probably have to not do as much as he does on the Timberwolves, but I think he could really find his place there eventually.
I mean,
Yeah, maybe they could go
obviously
small.
whatever the Rockets has isn't working for them. They're 14th in the Western Conference, just above the Suns. So
Yeah, that's a good point because in the Western Conference, with a tough start like this, there's even in like the 8 or 9 discussion, seeding wise.
Yeah. I think the Rockets just need to make some moves if they're gonna stay in this. They have a bunch of good players already. If they're gonna keep going, keep being a great franchise, I think they need to pick up some guys that can help them achieve their goals.
So moving on from that, I know Connor, you have a bunch of stuff about the Milwaukee Bucks and Raptors game.
yes,
2 powerhouses in the East and an improved East, by the way.
Very improved.
No LeBron, that opens up everything for the East.
all right. So going into this game, they're both 6-0, right?
Mhm.
But both of them have their best players injured. The Bucks had Giannis, who was going through the concussion protocol, and the Raptors, Kawhi Leonard needed rest due to his quad injury.
Yeah.
But it ended with the Bucks coming out on top.
Yeah, that's actually pretty impressive because the Raptors, outside of Kawhi, are actually a really good team.
Yeah.
And the Bucks have never been good outside of Giannis the past couple years. And now I think they're rated number 1 in defensive rating.
Now, this
And
is the first time since they had Kareem that they've gone 7-0.
Wow, that's a long time.
I mean,
you look at. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, you go. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so look at the signees in the offseason. Brook Lopez, fairly decent shooter from the outside as a big man. Ersan Ilyasova, also another guy the Bucks got. Good shooter from the outside. This is the first time in Giannis' career he's had a lineup where everybody can drag at the 3-point line, so he just has to go one-on-one.
Yeah.
And he's putting up MVP numbers because of that.
Yeah, that is true.
Another thing, the Raptors with Kawhi Leonard, everybody was hating on them, how they're so stupid for giving up DeMar DeRozan, the franchise player, and the Pirtle dude. But Kawhi Leonard is, when healthy a couple years ago, in my opinion, he was the second best player in the world, behind LeBron. It's a good trade. I don't care what people say. It's a good trade.
I think it's a pretty good trade.
And they got Danny Green out of it. I just remember that.
Yeah, I think we might have another person joining us here in a little bit, but we'll have to finish this topic before we just start adding people to this big old conversation.
Now, Kawhi Leonard, I think, is the second best small forward in the league right now. Kawhi Leonard and Giannis is third, I believe. And LeBron, obviously, the best.
Yeah, I'd say LeBron. Let's count him out, because he's the best player at pretty much the point guard, small forward, or power forward.
Right, yeah.
I think Kawhi's the best in the league if you get LeBron out of the picture.
Yeah, you gotta look at KD, though. You think he's in there?
What about Paul George?
Paul George, maybe the 5th best wing player, because I think KD, Kawhi, Giannis, and LeBron are better than him.
Yeah, there's just a lot of talent all around in the NBA in this position. Like in other positions, there's like clear standouts. In this one, there's a lot of guys that are really good at this.
Yeah, so I have a point to bring up. Steve Kerr, we all know him, brought up that he already thinks Steph Curry is an all-time great and that he revolutionized basketball. Do you agree with him that Steph Curry is already an all-time great.
No doubt about it. I have a quote here that Steve Nash said. He said, "I hate to break it to you, but Curry's already an all-time great. He's the ultimate one-off. He's the evolution of basketball. It's evolved before our eyes." Now, Steve Nash himself, obviously one of the best all-time greats for the Phoenix Suns. Not saying
Yeah.
much, but
I mean, he won 2 MVPs. Very controversial MVPs, but he won 2.
I think he's probably one of the best point guards behind Magic Johnson and John Stockton of all time.
Talking about all time, I think Steve Kerr is definitely a top 5 point guard.
Steve Kerr or Steve Nash?
Or Steve Nash, pardon me. Steve Nash.
Yeah, don't get those two confused.
Steve Kerr could shoot that ball. But I want to move on. Speaking of Steve Kerr and the Warriors, Klay Thompson, man.
Yeah, and
14 threes.
Before we begin, speaking about Klay Thompson, I'm going to introduce you to our next special guest who is joining us just now, Caden Ferguson.
My bad. I was eating Mexican.
Yes, he was very busy, but now we're going to talk about Klay Thompson with 14 threes, 26 minutes.
So, Caden, since you're just joining us, what was your first reaction to Klay Thompson's historic night?
I wasn't surprised at all. Clay's been doing this. It's just that it was just his night. And the thing that most impresses me is he's getting most of these shots without any dribbles. He's a catch and shooter. And most of them were contested, too. It's just crazy that you have possibly two greatest shooters of all time on the same team.
Yeah, a lot of people are wondering what Klay Thompson would look like as a number 1 option. I think that fairly sums it up.
The only thing
Now-
is, though, as a number 1 option, that he can't really create for himself. So he has to have others create for him. So that's the only downfall of his game, in my opinion.
I think the good part about that is that the Warriors are just really good as a team. They work together really well.
Their system, yeah, is amazing.
All right, now back to the dribbles thing. ESPN said that he only took 9 dribbles in that whole game.
9. That's crazy.
And then Derrick Rose the other night took 560.
Yeah, like Derrick Rose can get 50, and Klay Thompson can get 52 with 9 dribbles. That's just insane. And speaking of Klay Thompson, you go ahead.
Derrick Rose is doing a lot of the work himself there in that case, though.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. Klay Thompson, here, I got an interesting stat. He has 3 games of 50 or more points in less than 30 minutes. The rest of NBA history has 0. That's that's crazy. Like, we all remember the 37 and 1 quarter he had against, I think it was the Kings back a while ago. That was before he was an all-star, so he's insane.
So before we move on to anything, what all have we went over?
We've gone over Derrick Rose. We've gone over the Houston Rockets, and I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah. A little bit of Steve Nash, but that wasn't as important as our other
Yeah.
topics.
That was just talking about Stephen Curry's greatness. So I want to move on to something that's pretty funny. The Cleveland Cavaliers were selling tickets for $5 or less.
Yeah, that's very crazy, especially for a professional basketball game.
All because one player leaves. You are now the worst franchise in the league.
Well, it's not just
Now,
that
Kevin
LeBron
Love
left.
is hurt.
It's also the fact that the Cavaliers were just not a good team without LeBron.
Yeah. Yeah, one thing I always say when someone says someone is better than LeBron, would anyone else in the league have brought this Cavs team to the finals last year?
No.
Anyone
Probably
else?
not.
That just speaks to LeBron. But going back to the Cavs, I'm actually happy for Ty Lue that they fired him, so he didn't have to have like 70 losses on his record.
Yeah.
He can now go get a head coaching job at like somewhere else because he's gonna get hired.
Yeah,
He won a finals.
He can go teach some college kids
I
how to
mean,
play ball.
I don't know if he won the finals coaching. I think LeBron was probably coaching most of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest.
He'll
but,
probably get a
now,
job at like a
Kevin-
private college. I mean, you never know.
If I was the
Correct me
Thunder
if-
right now, I'd fire Billy Donovan and hire him. That's just me.
Well, Thunder have been very bad this year.
Yeah, he got off to a
Very
very
good.
slow start.
I mean, I think if I were the Thunder, I would have just offered LeBron James $170 million for 4 years. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
doesn't matter who your coach is when you have LeBron on the team.
Exactly.
All right, so do you want to? I think we're gonna move on to our final NBA topic. Power rankings.
Oh yeah.
Right,
I
I have the official power rankings up right here, but we also want to share what we think should be the power rankings.
So number 1, I think on every list is, so we can just skip past that. And then
No.
2 through 10 is interesting.
Yeah.
Did you say no, Connor?
Yeah. Bucks are number 1.
Oh, number one's
Who
the
let-
Warriors by far.
Who let him on? Who? I'm kidding. But
mean, the
yeah,
Warriors
2 through
just-
10 is interesting.
The Warriors are superior to the other teams. They're the skill.
Yeah.
They're amazing right now, and then they're gonna get DeMarcus Cousins, one of the best centers in the league. So
Right.
You know
that's-
who's
oof.
a very underrated team this year? I feel like will be very underrated. That
Who's
might
that?
do some damage. Is definitely the Pelicans. With
Oh yeah.
That's
AD,
interesting.
and then they got the one that was dropping all those like 30-point games at the start of the season, Mirotic.
Mirotic, yes.
Yes, him looking good, and then Drew Holiday, who was a All-Star back then, he's starting to come back to life. I feel like if they could trade for some wings, because that's what's always been their downfall. I feel like if they can get some wings, I feel like they could do some very serious damage. out
Speaking of
west.
trading for wings, what do you think about this? At the end of the season, in free agency, the Lakers trade Brandon Ingram and a bunch of picks and maybe a couple players for Anthony Davis.
I don't.
I mean,
I don't think the only team I feel like the Pelicans would send 82 is have to be in the East because he's that good. I feel like the only team able to actually there's two to acquire him would be either 76ers or the Celtics.
I think the
Oh,
yeah,
Celtics.
that's a good point because they do him 4 times a year.
The Celtics really need a guy like AD, and I think they have the trading power to get someone like AD.
Yeah, I
Speaking
feel
of
like
power rankings, I'm going to give my top 10 teams, and then y'all can either agree or disagree. So, number 1, I got the Warriors. Number 2, I got the Raptors. Surprising. 3, I got the Bucks. 4, the Nuggets. 5, the Celtics. 6, Trailblazers. 7, Spurs. 8, 76ers. Lakers. Then Pelicans. Thoughts?
Where's the Jazz at? Where's the
I
Jazz at?
mean, the Jazz have started off really. And I think if you matched up any of these 10 teams, they would be.
What do you think about the Grizzlies?
oh god,
Yeah, Connor, that's like saying the Kings because they have started off 5-3.
yeah.
Yeah, but to be fair, the Jazz are my 11th team. So, any disagreeals?
I mean, maybe
Not really.
some placement
I mean, I
changes,
think-
maybe, but I think all those teams are the top 10.
Bucks and
only-
Raptors should be changed, I think.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think the Bucks
I
are
can see
just
that.
that good.
I'm looking at that though in a playoff series. You think the Bucks or the Raptors would win?
No, I think the Bucks would win.
Raptors.
I think the Raptors would
Raptors.
win that kind of game.
I
'Cause
think
they
they would
have-
win just because of experience.
Yeah.
So,
Now, can we go back to coaching for a minute? You all don't like this, but do you think Rick Pitino could ever get a coaching job in the NBA again?
All right, so
That's-
wait, hold up. Let me speak from a huge Louisville
All right,
fan
all right.
standpoint.
all right, go.
I'm gonna be as unbiased as I can be. I don't feel Rick Pitino would succeed at all in the NBA. Here's why. In college, he is a slow-tempoed coach. He wants to slow it down and play defense. In today's NBA, you can't do that. You have to be fast paced and you have to get a lot of shots up. I don't feel like Rick Pitino would be a good fit. Could he get the job? Possibly, but I don't think he could change the way he's coached.
And like a style Patino liked to do, he liked to press a lot. I don't think
Yeah.
press has been in the NBA since the French Revolution. So
Right now,
so that wouldn't succeed.
I have some of Patino's stats right here from the NBA. He's 192 and 220 in the NBA, right? He coached the Knicks and the Celtics.
Yeah, but how long ago was that? Connor?
Yeah, that was
No,
way back
Can you
then.
tell me how long ago that was?
Shut up. The furthest he ever made it was the semifinals, though. Lost in the conference semi.
Well, wasn't that like 20 years ago when they were still like really physicalness?
Right before he
That
got
is what
into
I
a bunch of
say.
scandals.
I think
I
the
mean,
NBA
like,
was
it's not that-
better back then.
I don't think he's a bad coach just because he got into a bunch of legal trouble. But see, I think it's just
I mean, but he
I
was
agree with
proven
Caden.
innocent. He was proven innocent.
Okay,
But go ahead.
yeah. But let's move on. Let's move on from that stuff. But I agree with
Yeah.
Caden about just his coaching style. It just doesn't fit in with today's stuff.
Yeah, I agreed with that totally. It's actually the very smartest thing I've ever heard of Love say. So
Okay.
no, I'm kidding. So I think that's it for NBA. Unless y'all have anything else you want to talk about.
Nope.
Well, actually,
Nope.
I want to talk about one thing. The Warriors' Steve Kerr said that he knows DeMarcus Cousins won't stay with him like after his season because they don't have the money to keep DeMarcus Cousins. So
Yeah.
he said he straight up said that they're just gonna win him a championship and then let him go to another team.
Yeah, that's probably the most important assist Steve Curry's ever had in his.
Yeah.
That's just so stupid. They know they're gonna win. Cousins knew they were gonna win, so he went there just to get a chip. Wow.
I mean, the Pelicans weren't re-signed. Well, actually, no, the Pelicans did offer to re-sign him. He
They
decided
offered a
not to.
2-year, $40 million contract, and he stated, and I quote, "I didn't get any other offers from any teams."
Right. He was just being a jerk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Just being a
Celtics
snake.
offered him.
Yeah, I mean, but you know what? It's okay because the Pelicans still have Anthony Davis, who is a great teammate. Wore DeMarcus Cousins' jersey to the All-Star game when Cousins was injured.
Yeah, he totally respected him. He praised him high. Like, he was basically the reason the Pelicans offered him. And he declined it to go win a championship the easy way. It's kind of sad on his part. But it's a good business move.
Yeah.
Because after he wins, and if he does good, he'll get a big contract somewhere else. So
Yeah, well, only time will tell in the NBA. But
Now,
now,
this could be the next KD, just going to win a
Possibly.
championship and end up staying there.
yeah, he finds
And-
a team 73-9. There you go. Perfect fit.
final thought on the Cousins thing. We never know. He could be so detrimental to that team chemistry. And since he's not a good defender, like a bunch of easy baskets. I don't know. That's very slim shot, but they're gonna win, regardless.
Yeah, they're gonna win with or without Cousins.
All right, so we moved on from NBA, or any other thoughts?
Okay, we move on.
All right, so
All right, so go ahead.
okay,
it's
I'll
fine.
go. Oh yeah, or do you want to introduce it since I introduced NBA? You want to go ahead? Okay,
It's
Do
fine.
fine.
power rankings first.
Fine. Okay, we're going to the NFL, another professional sport. About some
Yeah,
football.
no dip.
We got trade deadline, power rankings, and we got a bunch of crazy matchups this week. We gotta do some early playoff predictions. Where you guys want to start it off?
Let's
Power
start
rankings.
off with the trade deadline.
Okay.
All right, yeah, let's go trade deadline. Because it happened recently, and we need to talk about it. Just get it out of the way.
Yep.
So first trade I want to bring up is Demaryius Thomas to the Contender now or no?
No, but I feel like they could. If they got lucky, I feel like they could do a lot of damage in the playoffs if they make it.
You know what message this sends to Deshaun Watson. They're basically telling him, we know you just lost your number 2 receiver, but we're going to get you another one because we are all going to win.
Well, when they see a player they need, they get him.
Yeah. My only problem with it, he's an aging veteran. I think he leads the league in drops over the past couple of years, and he has a huge contract. But it could pan out. So,
Yeah.
definitely an interesting trade.
Plus, it also doesn't help that his quarterbacks past 2 years haven't been the greatest.
That's also true. Yeah, Deshaun Watson is a
He's much better
universally better talent than Trevor Simeon or Brock Osweiler. So, our next trade, Golden Tate to the Eagles.
Yeah, this is
No, I thought that was
stupid
interesting.
for the Lions because that's a leading receiver, and then now you're making the Eagles team, who's not been the greatest so far this year, but still has the key talent to win it all, make them even better.
I can't believe the Lions did that.
But still, more reception for the Eagles, I think, is always a good move. Yeah, the Lions were kind of dumb with that move, but the Eagles were pretty smart.
Because you look at the line, I mean, if they win a bunch, like if they do good the rest of the year, they could make the playoffs. And they just gave up their best receiver for I think it was a third round pick.
Yeah, it was.
3rd round. That's it.
Yeah, it's a good move because Alshon Jeffrey was their only outside threat because Aguilar has regressed. I mean, Ertz is a tight end, but he just gets double teamed every.
I just realized nobody from the trade deadline was traded for another player. It was all players for picks.
I wish we had Seth on the show.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Raiders.
Raiders with all their first round picks. Speaking of the Raiders, this happened a little bit ago, but still part of the trade deadline. Amari Cooper to the Cowboys for a first round pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say, man?
I mean,
Yeah.
Gruden's just building his roster off of people from straight out of college.
I mean, give
But-
him credit. He's doing with players that he wants.
Right. He's trying to revitalize.
He's got 5 round picks the next 2 years.
But even though his current players have talent, they're just not doing it for him. So he's trying to revamp the team, give it a makeover. I think it's gonna work
Yeah,
in his favor eventually.
eventually,
Well, if he's
I
still
think
there.
he's going to trade Derek Carr.
No.
It would be a rational move.
No,
Yeah.
Derek Carr went off the other night. How many touchdown passes? 4?
Yeah, but the thing with Derek Carr, he's pretty inconsistent. A couple years ago, he was an MVP candidate, but he injured
Yeah, he
himself.
broke his leg.
Last year, he was decent, and then this year, for this last game, he's been brutal.
Yeah.
So, yep.
All right,
Next
moving
trade I
on.
want to
Yeah.
talk about, funniest trade of the entire my lifetime. Ty Montgomery to the Ravens for a 2020 7th round pick. You make Aaron Rodgers mad, you get traded for a 7th round pick and 2 drafts later. So
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's not really much to say about that one.
Yeah, that's what you get for costing.
he was actually a really valuable player. He was in the wide receiver group. He was in special teams. He was on the running back group. Like he
Yeah.
filled major depth on that team.
Well, I think
And
the
then
Packers feel like they have some depth without him.
yeah, I will say Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams. They're 2 talented backs that could take over pretty smoothly. And while we're on the Packers,
Yeah. Yeah. This
haha,
is the
Clinton Dix,
craziest trade.
their
Yeah.
best defensive player for a 3rd round pick.
Fourth round.
Yeah,
Oh, 4th round? Wow.
Yeah.
Their defense has been getting torched up all season. Their defense has not been very good.
Yeah, but Clinton Dix has been solid. He's been there's this thing called
Exactly.
Pro Football Focus. It's called you'll see it on Sunday night games. He was rated the 2nd best safety behind his new teammate, DJ Swearinger. So now the Redskins statistically have the best safety core in the league.
I
And
mean,
also,
they're pretty
also-
offense. and defense.
People are sleeping on the Redskins, but I feel like they could possibly make a wild card this year.
I think
They
the
have-
Redskins could make a top 4 spot
Yeah, honestly.
if they win their division.
Yeah, because they're honestly not looking bad. And that division right now is really open. With,
Yeah, I mean they can easily stay ahead of both the Eagles and the
Yeah.
Cowboys.
Anybody in that division besides the Giants can win it. Anybody.
Sorry, Easton.
Yeah. But I just don't agree with that move at all if you're the Packers.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you lose one really close game. You don't trade your best defensive player because you think you need to reload and try for next season.
But I mean, even if they are trying to do something crazy, I mean, there's got to be some logic behind it. If he is their best defensive player, they have to know that. So there's got to be some reason why they made this trade.
He's kind of old, I guess. He's like
Who?
late 20s. Clinton Dix, he's like late 20s.
He's not. He's 26, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, he's been around a while. It's just, to me,
He's
it's the
25.
dumbest move.
Yeah, he's
He's
25.
25. And they traded him. That's just so much potential, and they just wasted a 3rd-round pick. Nobody, or 4th-round pick. Nobody in the 4th round is going to be as good as Clinton Dix.
You're right. You're right.
All right, so next
Now, what are
trade,
your
we have to
playoff predictions? All right, go ahead.
Oh yeah, let's
Alright.
keep doing trades before we do anything too
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, next trade, I have to talk about Dante Fowler Jr., pass rush specialist,
Oh, God. Here we
to
go.
the Rams.
They basically gave up nothing.
Yeah, the Rams just made the best move. They gave up barely anything, and they just made their D-line go from great to legendary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
They
he just
had-
secures the Rams' spot in playoffs this year.
I mean, they have the best inside defensive line with Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh, the
And then you
best
add
D
that.
lineman, and one of the best. And then you add one of the best pass rushers in the league to solidify your outside rush.
The only thing, the Rams will be very. I'll be very disappointed if the Rams don't win it this year or next year. But the only downfall to their team is their secondary.
Yeah, their secondary, it looks good on paper.
But
But-
it's very old, very
Yeah.
veteran.
Talib is old. He's gotten slower. He's still good, but slow. Peters is still learning all the kinks of the NFL. He's pretty undisciplined right now. Devontae Adams tore him up in that Packers-Rams game. So you never know.
Right.
Yeah.
Alright.
But good move for the Rams, totally.
I'm just gonna name these next trades. We don't really have to talk about them because I mean some of them people already know a lot about. Some of them are brand new. But we got Damon Harrison from the Giants to the Lions, Eli Apple from the Giants to the Saints,
Which will help the Saints out a lot.
and then you got Carlos Hyde to the Jaguars, which happened a little while ago. And what happened even longer ago was Josh Gordon from the Browns to the Patriots.
Great move for the Patriots.
And that's all the trades from the deadline, really.
All right, now we're going to go to playoff predictions for both conferences, 1 through 6.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we all have ours.
Yeah. Anyone want to
Yeah.
go first?
I will.
Yeah, okay.
All right, go ahead, Connor.
All right, in the AFC, Patriots, the Steelers.
Are you going in order or in particular order?
I'm not going in any particular order.
Okay.
Patriots, Steelers, Texans, Chiefs. I think the Chargers and the Bengals have a shot at card. Well, Chargers automatically have the wild card, don't they?
I have the same teams as you, except I trade out the Ravens for the Bengals.
Yeah. That's a definite right there.
Because the Bengals haven't won a playoff game in 16 years, and somehow they've kept the same coach that entire time.
Doesn't matter if they win the playoff game as long as they make it to the playoffs. You know, that's something right there.
Yeah, but if you look at the Ravens, Flacco's been having a good season, except for this last game, who's brutal. And their defense is the best in the league.
Right. Clearly, when Flacco does falter, they don't have really anything to rely on.
So, since I just said I got the same teams as Connor, but instead of the Bengals, I have the Ravens.
Okay.
NFC now?
All right. Mine is going to be a little different. So, at number 1 and number 2, we have the Chiefs and Patriots. Interchangeable. They're pretty much going to get the buys. The way they've been playing has been just insane.
Yeah.
3 and 4, I have the Texans winning the South. And then here's the biggest surprise. It's probably going to shock all you guys. Coming out of I have the Ravens winning the AFC North.
You said that on purpose, didn't you? Huh?
No.
You don't have the Steelers?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. They probably will because we have a very tough schedule.
I have number 5, Chargers.
Mhm.
Number 6,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's going to come down to one of the last 2 weeks. It's either going to be the Steelers or the Bengals. I can't pick between one because right now they're both around the same record. Both, like, we can't really tell right now. But I feel like the last 2 weeks will be the biggest 2 weeks for that final wild card spot.
I got to talk about the Chargers. So there's only been 6 wildcard teams that have ever won the Super Bowl.
Right.
I think they could be the 7th. They're loaded.
Possibly. I mean, Phillip Rivers is just crazy, man.
Look at their 2 losses. The Chiefs and the Rams. They're only
That's saying something.
and week 1 against the Chiefs. I mean, Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill played out of their mind. But the Chargers wide receivers had, I think, 10 drops. And 3 of them were in the red zone. So, and they all lost space. So, 9 of those are catches. They probably won that game.
Yeah, I think, actually, okay, I'm going to throw in my prediction real quick. But I'm gonna mix it up a little bit more. So we got the Patriots, Chiefs, Steelers, Texans, right?
Yep.
Then for the wild card spot, I give it to the Bengals and wait for it. The Broncos.
Broncos.
You think 3? You think 3? You think the Broncos are gonna win out against the Chargers?
I think they could do it. I'm not saying they will. I mean, it's way more likely the Chargers will win. But I think the Broncos could do it.
So that's your, like, what if?
No, that's my
Like-
prediction. I think the Broncos are going to do
Well, that's
it.
actually your prediction.
I think they can do it. I think they will do it.
Well, I'm just gonna throw out mine. It's pretty similar. Patriots, Chiefs, Steelers, Texans are the 4, and then Chargers, Ravens are a wild card.
Yeah.
So
Now-
let's move over to the NFC,
You're right.
where
All right.
for my 6 teams, I've got Rams, Saints, Redskins, and Vikings as my 4, and the wild card Panthers and Seahawks.
All right.
Yeah. I give my prediction. Redskins, Rams, of course, Vikings, Saints. But for my wild cards, I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna tell my bold prediction that I said earlier. I'm gonna say Panthers, and Cowboys.
Yeah,
Because
one thing-
I can
one
definitely
thing.
see Cowboys. I can see Cowboys
Hold on,
only if
let-
Amari Cooper does great.
Let me talk here. We have Amari Cooper now, right? Well, I'm a Cowboys fan, for those who don't know. And I'm not trying to be biased here. I'm just trying to say the facts. The Cowboys are able to make it to a playoffs game this year.
I mean,
I'm not
they
saying
do
they'll
have
win.
a top 3 defense, and they have a top 3 running.
Right. They got the defense. The talent on that team is unbelievable, except for where we falter, which is quarterbacks.
I mean, think about you're putting everything on Dak's shoulders right now. Your O-line is solid, not as great as it used to be. You've got a great running back. You didn't have a number 1 wide receiver until now, so
I
you're
think-
basically telling Dak, this is an audition. You have all the pieces. Win or don't get paid, pretty much.
Right. I think the potential is there. I just think they need to tap into it. And I think if they do, by the end of the season, they're gonna make the wild card game.
Yeah, their defense has been very, very good. The Cowboys. I
Now,
mean,
mine are a little bit different from yours.
Right, but when they lose, they don't lose by a lot of points because the defense does not allow that many points. It's just
Yeah, I
when
mean-
they try to score, it just doesn't work very well.
the game they lost to the Redskins, which decided their division, their field goal kicker barely missed that kick off a bogus snap infraction call.
Right.
That was pretty stupid because they called that, and then on the very next play, the snapper did the exact same thing, and they didn't call it. So, but I feel if the Cowboys had won that game, we'd probably be saying, "Oh yeah, the Cowboys make playoffs," but they didn't. So
Well,
Alright.
and that's okay. That's just one game, right?
underrated on that team, Sean Lee.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, I think
I watched that game against the Redskins. They couldn't run on him. Whenever they ran the ball with Peterson, it was either Van Der Esch or Smith they were going to.
Let's see. Well, people that know the Cowboys know Sean Lee is a beast when it comes to defense. Or well, I mean, he's a
Yeah,
defensive
I just don't
player.
think he gets the recognition league-wide.
Oh no, he does not. But from fans like myself, he does. But okay, moving on. Where are you guys' predictions?
I guess I'll go. So 1-2 Rams Saints. I think it's the same thing as Patriots. Chiefs. It don't matter. Them two are the locks. 3. I'm trying not to be biased, but I feel like the Vikings, our defense will probably get it together because our offense has been very solid this year.
Yeah.
But for the most part, our defense has really been what hurting us. But I feel like with the return of Everson Griffin and people starting to come back from injuries, I feel like we're gonna get a little bit better. Number 4, I have the Redskins winning the East. Number 5 and 6, I have 5 the Panthers, and I feel like this year, this is going to be very unpopular, but I feel like the Panthers are going to go to the Super Bowl this year. And number 6, I have the Eagles.
Some very bold predictions right there.
Very bold.
I have a feeling that the Panthers.
I mean, to be fair, the Panthers, their new offensive coordinator, Norv Turner, has made Cam Newton the best he's ever been since that MVP year.
Yeah,
The defensive front 7, like their lineman and linebacker group, is always amazing. Their secondary is a little questionable, and Christian McCaffrey is a stud. And they got Greg Olson.
Their offense is really good. I just don't think it can match the Rams' defense because I'm pretty sure the Rams are going to be the championship game.
And if you look at all these teams, like AFC and NFC, they all have great coaches. Because coaching matters a lot in the NFL. Not so much in NBA, but a lot in the NFL.
But yeah, I think the Panthers could definitely beat like Saints, Vikings, Redskins. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't feel like they can beat the Rams if the Rams keep up this performance.
Well, I with their seeding, I doubt that they'll probably face the Rams unless it's in the NFC Championship.
Right. That's gonna be
But
the place
honestly,
to be.
I feel like how young the Rams are is really going to kill them, especially Sean McVay. How young their coaching and their quarterback is, it's definitely really going to hurt them. And I feel like Cam Newton, whenever he wants to be the Cam Newton we all know, like Auburn Cam Newton, he can be that, and he's unstoppable.
So, since we were just talking about the Rams, do you think that scare against Green Bay? Well, first, can we all agree that if Ty Montgomery had just taken a knee, Aaron Rodgers would have gone down and gotten a field goal?
Oh, yeah.
So, Rams probably 7-1 if that doesn't happen. But since that did happen, do you think they take it, they're like, oh, we need to step up, boys? Or do you think that just shocks them and then the Saints can reveal their weaknesses this week?
I feel, honestly, their offense didn't have the greatest games. Todd Gurley, it did look good on stats, like for fantasy. But if you actually watch that game, he had so many 1 to 2 yard rushes. Like Green Bay
Packers
was
actually
all
played a
over
really
them.
good defensive game.
Yeah,
Their
especially
defense was really good that game.
especially
I feel
for
like-
the offense that they were facing.
Yeah, like that's probably the best you could play the Rams.
Oh yeah, because Jared Goff had a decent game. It's just that he had about 300 yards for 34 TDs, I think. But definitely, Todd Gurley, like MVP, get 1 to 2 yards on most of the rushing plays is just like crazy.
Yeah, he had 1 or 2 yards and a lot of them. And then he had like 2 runs that were just a lot of yardage, so that made up for it.
Right.
So
I believe the
that's-
Rams will win the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, they're definitely the favorite, but
Super Bowl here. I think we should go to NFC and AFC championship games. If we
Yeah.
can go to Super Bowl.
AFC Championship game, I do not think the Patriots will be in it. Shocker, I know, but they won't.
Yeah, their defense can easily be exposed.
They've had the bend don't break mentality on defense, but their defense this year is breaking on everybody.
Yeah, I
Like,
think
even Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah,
had a
their
good
only
game.
good performance was against David Anderson, who 2 weeks prior to that game was flipping burgers on the side of a road. And he threw for almost 300 yards, so.
Yep. Well, okay, I haven't even mentioned this. This is very important we're not live or anything, so it probably doesn't matter. But the Raiders are currently playing the 49ers and are getting beat 14-3 in the second quarter.
The Raiders are getting beat
Yeah, just wanted to throw that out there.
against the third string quarterback.
Yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. The Raiders are that bad. They're on a
this
third down right now.
Third string quarterback Nick Mullins, whatever, has 2 touchdowns. He's 9 of 11 passing, 103 yards. Wow. And the Raiders can't fire John Gruden because they still owe him all the money.
Yeah.
Even if they fire him.
All right.
All
I'm
right,
going to go
so-
ahead and say my NFC picks.
All right, go ahead.
I have the Eagles, the Bears, the Saints, the Rams, and for my wild card, I'll give it to Panthers and Vikings.
Wow, the Bears.
Yep.
That's very.
I mean, the
Well,
Bears, for me, they've played really good against really bad teams. The 2 teams they did play that were good, they lost.
Yeah, that's true.
So I just need to see, like, for the Bears, I need to see better competition and wins against better competition. But
Well,
good team, no doubt.
I can give it to them. Their defense is freaking good, especially when Khalil Mack just changed them. Like,
Yeah, if Aaron Donald was not in the league, Khalil Mack would be the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year in the NFC.
I still think he is. Like, he's just
Really?
yes.
Even with Aaron Donald,
this year,
He's
yeah.
leading the league in sacks as a D tackle. You know
Yeah,
how
but-
hard that is?
But Khalil Mack is just like what he's done for the Bears is just astronomical. Like that's
Yeah,
like
they're
almost
basically the
what
same
Lawrence
team as
Taylor-
last year. They had 1 guy on defense, and now they're 4-3, something like that.
Yeah, they're in the lead.
4-4, something like that.
Yeah, they're in the lead for the North right now.
Yeah. So, who do you guys think will be in the Super Bowl? What 2 teams?
Oh, the Rams and Chiefs. Chiefs, probably.
Yeah. I think the Chiefs just have that talent to get them up there.
Yeah,
There's
I'm
not
picking
a
the
whole lot
Rams.
of competition.
I'm picking the Rams and the Chargers. Chargers, it's going to be an all, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because you don't know about the Chargers because you don't watch them. They're never
Not
on
really.
national TV.
Right. Because they're not.
Phillip Rivers this season, trust me, he's on a fantasy team. He's been one of the best quarterbacks in the league. 17 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He has 3 very good wide receivers, a great running back, and their defense is amazing.
Well, here comes my prediction. Panthers. It sounds weird, I know, but I feel like they have a really good chance with Cam Newton. He's getting better every week.
I mean, I'll
Probably
give it to you. If they keep on playing, then yeah, probably. A
But
good chance.
he has a pretty good running back. Not the best, but McCaffrey's been doing pretty good this year. Their defense is not bad at all. They have a pretty darn good defense. Like they shut down the Ravens.
Yeah. Ravens actually have a sneaky good offense, and they just shut it all. So who's your pick out of these two?
So I have Panthers and the AFC. This is possibly the toughest one, I feel like. But I really think rather the Chiefs. This one might shock you a little bit. Or the Texans. I honestly feel
I
like
can see the Texans because they have fantastic defense. And they've won 5 straight games.
And also Lamar Miller. I mean, we've all had him in fantasy.
God, I dropped him and he wasn't doing crap.
But he's been on the rise the past couple weeks. So if he keeps it
the
up,
running game starting.
I feel like, especially their defense is. I mean, Jadeveon Clowney and J.J. Watt, two of the best special rushers on the league.
Yeah, J.J. Watt's probably going to win Player of the Year for APH.
Oh yeah, him or his brother.
Yeah, but J.J. Watt, man, so many, and he's old, and he's leading the league in sacks. I think he's tied with Aaron, or maybe one behind. Still,
he's just crazy.
He's a crazy, and Deshaun Watson is a great talent. The first 3 games, they couldn't protect him. He was down in like 2 seconds on every play, and then they finally found a way to protect him, and he threw 5 touchdowns and 1 touchdowns and then completions. So he's great. And we're going to move on. I need all of your thoughts on the Le'Veon Bell situation. What should the Steelers do?
Yeah, but as we saw with trade deadline, Le'Veon Bell is still on the roster for the Steelers.
I'm saying, should the Steelers pay him or should they let him?
Let him walk.
Pay him. That's a generation.
Why do you say let him walk, Connor?
Because he's not doing anything.
I think they should trade him.
Yeah, after the season?
Yeah, after the trade deadline.
Well, yeah, because his trade deadline's up. Doesn't he have to play?
Yeah, he has to play by week 11, or he doesn't get credit for the year. So he won't be able to play next year.
I honestly don't think he's going to play by week 11.
I think.
Well, if he doesn't do that'd kind of be stupid because he won't be able to play next year.
Yeah, that would be a really dumb move on his part.
That's just wasting some of his years of his prime, especially at the
and he paid the Steelers about $8 million from holding out. So he's wasting.
I mean, they really do. I feel like they should keep him, pay him. He's a generational talent, and possibly if he didn't have all these problems, he could possibly be an all-time great running back. But all stuff like this is just holding him back even more.
Yeah, but do you know the reason why he held out?
To not get in.
It's because they were gonna play him a lot.
Well, yeah, he's really good.
Right, and he didn't want to be used that much because he was afraid
not
he would
trying
get
to be biased, but he's one of the best 3rd down backs in history. If you don't know what that is, that's like someone passed to on 3rd down, like a check down. He's one of the best pass catching backs of all time. But Connor don't sleep on James Conner. 3rd in the league in rushing yards and up at the top in touchdowns. So I'd say let him walk and put that money on some defense. That's just me.
Right. I agree there.
Because you've seen that defense outside of the last 3 weeks, they've been god awful.
All right.
And talking about letting people go, the Browns fired both Hugh Jackson and Todd Haley.
One of the worst moves, in my opinion.
It's just funny.
So they draft Baker Mayfield, right? And he goes in the system and throughout a whole training camp, a whole off, and then 8 games? He's
Fire.
learning from Hugh Jackson and Todd Haley. They fire his mentors, and they either replace him with a D coordinator and the quarterback coach.
Yeah.
Really
About
smart
right.
there.
So, as you may tell, the Browns have no idea what they're doing. And look at their schedule. They've played Big Ben twice. They've played the Chargers. They've played the Ravens. And they've played a bunch of good teams.
Now, honestly, it's not the coaches. They're not working with
Blame
that
them.
good of a team.
That's actually a good point. If you told
Yeah.
any Cleveland fan before the beginning of the
Exactly.
season that through this point you're going to be 2-5-1, they'd be like, okay, well,
That's not like 3.
that's not terrible. I mean, we've played Big Ben twice, Phillip Rivers, Joe Flacco.
That's 3 games that could have been lost, I guess.
I mean, but they got to be happy because they didn't have a win last season. So.
Right. And that kind of sucked for Cleveland. Honestly. Because, they
And they played the Saints. So what do you
were-
expect from them?
they were 1-15 in 2 seasons ago. Then last season they were 0-16.
I mean, Todd Haley, their former coordinator, and Hugh Jackson will definitely get like coordinator jobs somewhere else.
I just feel like
There's that-
Yeah.
they weren't doing what the Browns needed to be done. Honestly.
All right,
They
here,
fired
wait.
both of them because apparently and Hugh Jackson wanted to be a part of the play calling, but Todd Haley didn't want him to.
I think it was a little premature to
Yeah, honestly,
fire
listen to
Todd
this,
Haley. Not Hugh
Listen to
Jackson. I
this.
think that was a long time coming. Go ahead, Caden.
All right, so here I'm gonna read you off all their losses and their home to our schedule. Okay, first game of the season, they tied to the Steelers, which
They
they
said who? That what?
second game they lost to the Saints. They lost on 2 field goals, so really that should be a win.
And I want you to know something. If they had a field goal kicker, they would have been 4-0 through the first 4 games.
Oh yeah, easily. They would have beat the Steelers too. Of course, they beat the Jets. Well, Raiders, they field goal kicking, and they got screwed over by the refs.
Yeah, that was a
totally
pretty bad call.
fumble. Then they beat the Ravens. Beat the Ravens. That's saying something. Then they got blown up by the Chargers, and the Bucks, they lost in overtime. So they're not a bad team. It's just that they've been losing really close games. Of course, they
Yeah.
got blown up by the Steelers.
They've been to 4 overtime games this year.
Yeah, that's
4.
pretty crazy.
That's saying a lot.
And their defense, I know people are going to laugh, Browns, but their defense is amazing.
Their other defense is actually really good.
Denzel Ward is already one of the best corners in football, and he's a rookie. Myles Garrett is a stud.
Jabril Peppers.
Jerome Peppers has developed a lot. They've got one of the 3 best secondaries, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
They lead the league in picks.
All right, and speaking about picks, I think we should move on. Eli Manning. The Giants.
Eli Manning, the worst Manning.
Oh, yeah. So,
I mean, he does
I
have
want-
2
I want to have all your guys' thoughts and feelings on this. As an outsider, what do you think they should do with Eli?
Sign Colin Kaepernick today. Let him learn the system for a couple weeks, then
I can see that.
because
The only
you
thing,
can
though-
Kaepernick can be like a bridge for them till next year's draft, so they can tank right and get the first pick and draft a quarterback.
The only problem with that, though, is the quarterback class next year isn't the best.
Yeah, but there are 2 quarterbacks that are really good,
All right.
or one quarterback. I mean, Justin Herbert from Oregon. That dude is special. He's a very fine quarterback.
I mean, you got Kyler Murray if he doesn't go to the MLB.
Yeah,
I kinda-
Kyler Murray though. I'm not too confident on him. He's very
He couldn't go, though, because he's only a freshman, so he couldn't.
yeah.
Oh,
He's on-
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, but Justin
I know-
Herbert and Will Greer are the 2 quarterbacks I'm looking at
I know
to make the draft.
this isn't a college episode, but I wanted to mention things since we're on quarterbacks. So, UCF quarterback, of course. Go good UCF. Their quarterback, I don't know. I don't know what if he's a senior or whatever he is, but he is a freak. If you take Dan Marino's game film and put it right next to him, it's like a carbon copy. Like, his release time's insane.
Yeah, but look at who UCF is playing.
Yeah, but he's still putting up crazy numbers.
All right,
Funny
so
thing is, though, him and Tua are from the same exact place.
I think Tua, he's a sophomore. If he stays 2 more years, he could be great. But going back to NFL, I think last topic of the day, we're going to look at the matchups that are happening this Sunday. And I want to start it off with Packers-Patriots. Who you got, and who's the better quarterback?
I think Aaron Rodgers is the better quarterback, but I think the Patriots will pull it off. Especially now the Packers don't have Clinton Dix. They don't, their defense is kind of running out. I think the Patriots' offense can definitely get right through them, even if Gronkowski hasn't been has been the best recently. I think they can pull out a win.
Well,
I think Gronkowski is gonna have a big day this week because, all they have is corners now because they don't really have a lot of great linebackers, and Gronk's bigger than everybody, so I think he.
Yeah.
Thoughts, Connor or Caden?
okay.
Well, I have the.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll go ahead. I have the Patriots. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is obviously the better quarterback, but I have the Patriots come out on top on that one.
You say obviously better quarterback? Why
Oh,
is
yeah.
that?
I mean, Tom Brady's an all-time great, but I believe Aaron Rodgers is the better quarterback.
I mean, Tom Brady is accomplished, but he does have the best coach of all time, the best system of all time.
All right, yeah. Well, so before I say my predictions, this isn't the absolute direct quote, but this is something near it. Tom Brady even said that if Aaron Rodgers was in the system he was in, he would have maybe double the points.
Yeah, he'd have like
Tom Brady is.
1,000 passing yards. Tom Brady.
Even Tom Brady said that. That's just showing you how great. If Aaron Rodgers was in a better system, he'd easily be the greatest quarterback of all time. Right, like you said, Carter, I agree with your point exactly. Brady's way more accomplished than Rodgers, but Rodgers skill-wise is way better. But I agree with all y'all. I think the Patriots will probably win this week.
If I was building a perfect quarterback, I'd have Aaron Rodgers' IQ. I'd have Aaron Rodgers' awareness. I'd have Aaron Rodgers' strength. I've had Aaron Rodgers' accuracy. I'd probably have Michael Vick mobility. But Aaron Rodgers has great too, so it's like he's very strong too. Like whenever he gets hit, he almost never fumbles. He's got a great grip. All right. Next game.
Wait,
Saints.
I think we should keep these a little bit brief, just because there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Still
Next game. Saints Rams.
I say Rams coming out on top there.
Saints.
I would also say Saints, just because it's a tough place to play.
It's a pretty tough game.
Yeah. It's an important game for both teams. Connor, who you...
All
right,
I
Rams.
think they're going to get their first loss to the Saints.
All right, so 2 Saints, 2 Rams. Next game, battle for the Steelers, Ravens.
Where's this at? Where's this located at?
It's at Baltimore.
Ooh.
I got Pittsburgh still.
Yeah, I got Steelers on this one.
Not trying to be biased, I also got Steelers because I feel the Ravens' offense just got exposed. I think we're going to cut. Caden, who you got?
As much as I'm sorry, Carter, but I feel like if Joe, well, actually no, I'm gonna go with Steelers. But here's the key: I feel like if Joe Flacco does not perform this week, Lamar Jackson will get his first start the week after.
If let's say Jameis Winston performance, Lamar Jackson will definitely see more playing time. But I don't think he'll be the starter.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Let me just go off topic a little bit. Jameis Winston will not start the rest of the season.
If they're trying to win, then no. But if they're trying to see what they got, they probably will. Our next game.
Fitzpatrick will start the rest.
Yeah, he should. Cowboys Titans. Amari
Oh, I
Cooper's
got
debut.
Titans.
It's at Dallas.
I'm going with
I got
Cowboys
Titans
here.
still.
I'm not trying to be biased here because I'm a Cowboys fan, but I think the Cowboys can win against the Titans because the Titans
Are
aren't
pretty
too good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Titans. I know Cowboys have gotten more
See.
Cooper, but even though they had a bye week, it's still going to take a little bit for the chemistry. But
Yeah.
I feel like it's a flip flop game. It can go either way, but I feel like the Titans might come out on top.
I feel
I
like
think the
even
Cowboys
though,
would win even if they didn't have Cooper.
right, I think even without Cooper, the Cowboys can win because I think the Titans and Cowboys are pretty evenly matched, anyways.
Yeah, both have good defense, lack quarterback skill.
Yeah, but I think the Cowboys' defense will just prevent the Titans from scoring and just let Cowboys come in, get a few good
So,
scores, get ahead.
2
win.
Cowboys, 2 Titans. Next game, big game for both teams. Chargers, Seahawks.
Ooh.
Chargers, Seahawks. I got
It's at Seattle.
Chargers.
It's also
I got Seahawks on this one.
Simply, I thought Chargers because they had a bye and they had an extra week to prepare for this, and that loaded team. That's just too much.
I got Seattle. I think
Who-
they have been on a roll recently, and I feel like they can be doing. I feel like they're gonna do some damage.
Yeah, I feel like
Very
Russell
true.
Wilson.
They have one of the best running games in the league now, surprisingly.
I think they can just. I think the Seahawks will pull ahead. You know.
So, split like last game, well, maybe, like, well, not maybe, but huge implications for both teams. Lions, Vikings.
Vikings.
I think even though their defense has not been the best this year, Vikings.
Yeah, I'm also on the Lions here. Simply just to spice it up, but I think the Vikings would win. But I'm going to explain why the Lions could win. Stafford has to go off. They have to run him. They're one of the worst teams in giving attempts to their backs. And they have great backs. Kerryon Johnson, LeGarrette Blount. And they just got Damon Harrison. So the Vikings are going to have to pass. Because
Yeah.
their running game's not that good.
All right, and then
Now, don't get me wrong. Stafford is a Pro Bowl material quarterback. He is
Yeah.
an amazing quarterback.
He gets too much hate. He's actually really
Yeah.
All right, here comes from the Vikings standpoint. I always hate playing Detroit, and this is the reason why. We always struggle with Matthew Stafford. He always tends to have really good games against us. But coming off this loss against New Orleans is probably might light a fire, especially with Kirk Cousins, because Kirk Cousins did not have he had a lot of yards, but he had 2 costly interceptions that cost us the game. And also, Adam Thielen had a very untimely and uncharacteristic fumble that cost us the game. So I feel like we can pull this one off, but I feel like it's going to be very, very close.
So it's at Minnesota, if anyone wants to change their minds.
Oh, I got a tough game for y'all. Browns and Chiefs. Who's that?
I mean, I'll take the Browns.
I mean, I want to say Chiefs,
Chiefs.
but I think the Browns with their offense and their lack of
Yeah.
coaching, it's just Chiefs all the way.
Yeah, it's at Kansas City too, so rip.
I mean, no one's gonna love that.
Yeah, I can feel on all caps text in our group chat. Chiefs just won. Oh, okay, but
Yeah.
let's
All
move on.
Wait, okay.
Tyreek Hill hurdle.
I think we should probably get close to wrapping this up. We've been going for like almost an hour and a half.
Yeah, I think that's all to talk
just-
about today.
No, let's finish talking about games. Let's just pick who you think will win the game. Don't expand on it. Just say who's gonna win the game. Falcons, Redskins.
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 Falcons.
All right. Jets, Dolphins.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Jets.
Wait, it depends if Ryan Tannehill's playing and
exactly.
where it's at.
I think I think the
I
Jets
got
will win either way.
Dolphins, so
I think that
no.
yeah, Jets win. Sam Darnold, he's actually a really good pick.
All right,
So that's my
Bucks Panthers.
Dolphins.
Panthers.
Panthers.
Fitzmagic!
Oh my gosh. No, I'm sorry.
I think the Panthers defense will just wreck Fitzmagic.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
Panthers.
Okay, final
I
one.
mean, I think Fitzpatrick is going to do great, but
Oh, no,
Panthers are going to play.
second to last one. Bears Bills.
Bears.
They're gonna swallow up David Anderson.
You know, I want to say Bears, but then
No,
again,
he's hurt. He has a concussion, so it's gonna be
Oh,
Nathan Peterman.
oh nope, yeah, Bears. Yeah, Bears all the way.
Bears.
All right, and then final one.
What's the last game?
Final one is Texans Broncos.
Texans.
Oh,
Big game for both.
Texans.
All right, then I'm gonna say one more thing about football, and then I'm gonna close it out. 25 seconds left in the second quarter of the 49ers Raiders game. It's 49ers are still up 14-3.
With the third string quarterback.
Yeah, well, the Raiders just aren't good anymore. You know, Leo Mack did a lot for them.
Marshawn Lynch is hurt.
Yeah. But everybody's ripping Gruden, but he got 2 first-round picks.
All right, so I think that's all our talking points. We'll keep talking about stuff. We'll keep making these podcasts. People like them. Like us on SoundCloud, since that's the only platform we're on currently. Everybody want to tell them your social media, where they can find you online?
Plug.
All right, you got Carter. What's your Instagram?
At Cartman_236.
All right, what's your Instagram, Connor?
Connor.Brown04.
And Caden?
04.
Caden Ferguson. 04.
All right, and I'm _Will Reynolds, and that's all the time we have for tonight. We're gonna close it here. I hope our opinions were pretty okay. I hope people agreed with our opinions. And
If you didn't, don't come up to us at school and be like, "You're so beep." Okay.
because we're a bunch of opinionated high schoolers, and you expect us to keep podcast unbiased. We're not professional commentators. We're not on ESPN for a reason. We're a bunch of freshmen in high school. So,
Kentucky sucks. Go Louisville.
All right, we're gonna end it today and house and punch him in the face. So see ya.
all right, see you later,
See ya.
people.